A region rocked by scandal.
Mistakes have consequences.
Your tax dollars detoured.
Everything I've received, I've earned.
Wayne County under federal investigation.
Do any county contractors contribute to this fund?
I have no idea.
And Metro Detroit under a cloud of controversy.
We're fed up with this corruption.
7 Action News broke this story. Tonight, we take you inside.
This is a 7 Action News special report, Wayne County Confidential.
Secret severance deals, allegations of kickbacks, misused money, all at the center of an FBI investigation.
And beyond the controversy, billions of dollars are at stake. Our region is in recovery, desperately working to attract businesses and to create jobs.
Since 7 Action News broke this story, you've seen top county officials suspended or fired. You've watched as the FBI moved in on Wayne County. And at the center of it all, the county's most powerful politician, Robert Ficano.
Tonight, our entire 7 Action News investigative team breaks this story down for you. Scott Lewis takes a closer look at Ficano. Ross Jones takes us inside the county's controversial nonprofit fund. Bill Proctor looks at the man some say really runs the county. But we begin with investigator Heather Catala.
And Heather, where does all this begin?
Stephen and Carolyn, it's only been about a month, but the fallout in this scandal has been massive. Robert Ficano's reputation has taken a major hit. The FBI is investigating, and Turkia Mullen has joined the unemployment line. And it was only a few months ago that Mullen was actually mocking 7 Action News for looking into her and the county.
I noticed that Channel 7's here, and maybe hopefully you'll recognize us in your D2020 rather than focusing on antagonizing us with your FOIA. So
this was Turkia Mullen in June, scolding 7 Action News for filing public records requests about her salary. At the time, she was on the rise as one of Wayne County government's brightest stars.
I have no
You can't even tell me when this...
I really need to focus on airport
This letter, I mean, obviously you know when...
This is Turkia Mullen now, dodging reporters' questions, out of a job and under investigation by the FBI. It's been about a month since we broke the news of Mullen's $200,000 parting gift from the taxpayers, thanks to one of those public records requests she called antagonizing.
You're taking a $200,000 just to walk away for a better job. How is that fair?
I negotiated this.
When word of the big payday got out, Mullen came out swinging. She was worth it, she told reporters, and anyone who said otherwise was sexist. But days later, she and her old boss, Robert Ficano, announced that all the money would be returned.
Returning the money was really the right thing to do.
But the damage had been done. Mullen became fodder for cartoonists, dominated the news, and woke up the normally friendly Wayne County Commission that wanted answers.
We need to reassure the public trust because that's what's been lost here.
Ficano launched his own investigation into the severance. He announced the findings in an October press conference where he blamed the payment on these three: Deputy CEO Azam Elder, Corporation Counsel Marianne Talon, and Human Resources Director Tim Taylor. Elder and Talon were suspended for 30 days. Taylor was terminated. Ficano said he wanted to move on from the scandal, but the hits kept coming. A complaint was soon filed with the Attorney Grievance Commission, going after the law licenses of Ficano, Elder, Mullen, and Talon. At the same time, a Wayne County attorney filed a recall petition to have Ficano removed from office. And then it got even worse. The FBI came here to the Guardian building a short time ago to serve subpoenas on Robert Ficano's administration. When the FBI moved in, they wanted records related to Mullen, Elder, and IT Director Tahir Kazmi. Also in their sights, the Wayne County Business Development Corporation. Action News first exposed the nonprofit a year ago, showing it was controlled by Mullen and others with close ties to the Ficano administration. It collected donations from 14 corporate members. It paid for overseas trade missions for county officials, and Mullen finally acknowledged it also paid her a second salary.
I received another $75,000 through the Business Development Corporation.
And then Monday, a former Mullen employee filed suit against her, alleging he was fired for refusing to divert federally restricted funds into that very nonprofit that paid her. On that same day, the Wayne County Airport Authority voted to fire Mullen.
The Wayne County Airport Authority Board desires to terminate the employment of Turkia Awada Mullen.
The federal probe continued to expand last week when we learned that agents met with officials from healthcare provider ProCare Plus. The FBI is digging into allegations that its CEO, Robin Cole, was pressured to provide kickbacks in the thousands of dollars to one of Ficano's top lieutenants, Assistant Wayne County CEO Michael Grundy. Last week, Ficano suspended Grundy with pay.
Will other county insiders fall as the federal noose tightens on Wayne County? This investigation is going to take a while to complete. The feds are trying to determine which acts, if any, have been criminal and which have just been bad management.
Now, Heather, Turkia Mullen resigned as the executive director of that nonprofit fund, as you mentioned, back in August. So have they announced who's going to take over as the head of that fund yet?
It's not really clear. We have asked county officials and some of the fund's board members, but so far we have not gotten an answer.
All right. Thank you so much, Heather. Stephen.
Government watchdog groups agree. Public officials and private nonprofit funds don't often mix for good results. Their meetings are private, donations don't have to be disclosed, and how they spend money is largely a secret. 7 Action News investigator Ross Jones has more now on the Wayne County Business Development Corporation.
That fund has been in the news a lot lately, but it was more than a year ago that we first exposed just how it operates. It was during that story that Robert Ficano made a statement he may end up regretting.
The ghosts of Kwame Kilpatrick don't live in Wayne County.
Robert Ficano will have to prove that to the FBI as it launches a probe into that fund, his administration, and how our money has been spent. And what federal investigators will want to know, did donors to the Wayne County Business Development Corporation receive anything in return for their donations? The fund is run by individuals with close ties to the county. Ficano's current deputy CEO, Azam Elder, the chairwoman of the County Airport Authority, whom Ficano appointed, and 4 past and present county contractors, some of whom have donated money to Ficano's campaign. They are the primary oversight for how the board takes in and spends money. The group hasn't reported to the IRS either since 2009, when it took in $100,000. Peter Henning is a former federal prosecutor and says funds like these have created problems for politicians in the past. Some you'll remember.
People question how they're being used and what type of influence do they have. It's a fair question to ask.
The fund has been shrouded in secrecy for years. When then Wayne County Commissioner Ed Boyke asked just who the fund's members were, what was the answer from administration officials?
We don't have to tell you.
It was only last year that the fund finally released a list of its members who make contributions to join, and only as a result of our original investigation. Until it was taken down last week, the fund website listed these more than a dozen companies. Many of them have now, or have had in the past, lucrative county contracts. Like Ghaffari Associates, given a $200,000 contract for architectural services. The Roxbury Group, a $225,000 contract for consulting.
I would not like to be in the position of giving a large contract to someone on the board, because it would look bad, even though it may be a good contract.
And yet that's exactly what the county did. John Ricolta sits on the fund's board. His company, Walbridge, was one of several that submitted bids to build the new Wayne County Jail. A committee made up of county officials decided Walbridge had the best bid, and the county commission awarded Ricolta's company the $200 million contract.
Suppose someone gave the money and ended up getting a big contract. It could look like favoritism.
Aside from knowing who's giving money to the fund, Reinstein says it's just as critical to know how it's being spent.
You protect everybody by disclosing it.
Just how has the fund doled out its money? Officials don't have to say, other than filing yearly forms once a year and filling in broad categories like these. The public isn't able to ask any questions. We do know that the fund has paid for overseas trade missions for Ficano and other county officials. They've gone to places like France, Italy, and China. And we know it's paid at least one salary, $75,000 for Turkia Mullen, the fund's former executive director. A payment she acknowledged only after our repeated questions. The next filing that shows just how much the nonprofit fund took in and spent is due later on this month. you can bet we'll be pouring over it. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
Thanks a lot, Ross. Robert Ficano, of course, defending his nonprofit fund. Now, you may recall he also defended that controversial severance package for Turkia Mullen. At first, anyway. Now, here's his reaction on September 29th, just 2 days after we broke the severance story.
This is a standard type contract. Her predecessor had the same type of contract.
Then we found out there was no contract, that Ficano had signed an undated letter promising Mullen the money. When we caught up with the Wayne County executive, here's what he had to say.
Did you personally sign the letter yourself?
I don't even know which one you're referring to.
Now, county officials had said that letter was written in late 2008 or early 2009, but on October 14th, they admitted the letter was written on September 2nd of this year, 2 days before Mullen was supposed to leave Wayne County. Here's Robert Ficano's reaction.
I'm holding those who made error in judgment accountable for their actions. Mistakes have consequences.
Now, Ficano suspended Deputy County CEO Azam Elder, as well as the Director of Corporation Counsel, Marianne Talon, and then fired Personnel Director Tim Taylor. And as far as the money?
Severance should not have been paid. I mean, the bottom line is it should not have been paid.
But when asked about when he signed the letter?
When were you first made aware of the September 2nd letter?
During the time that I was in Asia.
So when did you sign it?
I signed it September 2nd.
So wouldn't you have been aware of it then?
I signed a lot of papers.
Then on Friday, Ficano distanced himself even further from Mullen, saying the situation surrounding her had become, quote, an obvious distraction.
And the Wayne County Airport Board felt the same way. They voted just Monday to terminate Mullen from her position as CEO of the airport.
Mullen's career in government has been relatively short. In just a few years, she became one of the most powerful people in Wayne County. So, how did she get on the fast track? And the person who helped put her there?
I always got the impression that he felt he should be county executive.
The man who insiders say really runs Wayne County. Just ahead.
Plus, racial tensions inside the Guardian building. You'll see just how bad things got.
And remember, you can follow this entire story on WXYZ.com. We have a timeline set up where you can watch it all unfold from the very beginning.
Go to WXYZ.com and click the Wayne County Confidential link. We'll be right back.